Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Happy Monday. I know I did not even put out a notification as to the fact that I would be going live today, but here's the thing. Like I said, there's not going to be a schedule. I cannot do that. I just can't. First of all, I get tired. And me committing to a schedule here, I just can't. I just can't. I'm sorry. I love you all, but I literally cannot commit to a regularly scheduled program. So it's kind of cool because here I am. I can talk about stuff and, things that are going on. And if you can't make it, you can just watch it later if you want to. So it all works out at the end of the day. So, for those of you who are new here, my name is Kiki. We have a radio station, my husband and I, called Kiki.fm. There it is. It's free in the App Store. All you got to do is download the app, and you will have the best classic rock and the best classic hits on the planet. And I'm telling you, like it's kind of blowing our minds how the station is just blowing up. I mean, we have got people all around the country listening to us every single day, and I don't know what's going on, but we thank you for listening and we thank you for loving it. And we've got so many people reaching out saying how much they're happy that they found the station, and they're so excited about the wide variety of music. And Al and I, when we met, I would tell him all the music I like, and he's like, "Dude, like, you're kind of an old soul." And I said, "Yeah, I am." And we both like the same type of music. We both like classic rock, and we both like classic dance hits, pop stuff like that. So it works out. It is a crazy blend of fabulous music. So hopefully, if you don't have the app yet, go ahead, download it. It's free and it's pretty great. Also, if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, like I said, I'm going to try to, go live here a couple of times a week with some music and entertainment news. And if you like that, go ahead, hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like button. YouTube likes it. YouTube likes it when you like it. And then if you like it, that keeps me coming back to give you the news and all of that fun stuff. So, for those of you who don't know, I live in Rhode Island and we had a very fallish weekend. A couple of gal friends and myself, we went to a place called Cucumber Hill Farm located in Foster, Rhode Island. And the day Saturday was supposed to be about apple picking because what do you do in the fall in New England? You go and pick apples apparently. That's what people like to do. People like to pick up dirty pumpkins from a pumpkin patch like Charlie Brown, even though his pumpkin was clean. But people like to do that, and apple picking is just a huge thing. So my friends left it up to me to pick the place to go apple picking. Guess what? I picked this place. I'm like, Cucumber Hill Farm. It looks so cute. It looks fun. They have axe throwing, which we didn't do because I probably would have hurt someone. Not intentionally. I'm clumsy. They have pony rides, which I did. I did ride a pony. It was so fun. And I have to wipe my nose. Do you believe this? This nose thing. Here we go. I haven't dripped all morning. I can't. And they had a hayride and they had a corn maze. Now, I have another channel. It's like a personal vloggy type of channel. It's called Kiki Room. Go ahead and follow me there if you even care. And it's fine because it's pretty boring. But, I just post personal stuff there with my friends and myself, and I cook and blah, blah, blah. Whatever. If you like it, go ahead and follow it. If not, it's fine. So I will have, some things posted within the next couple of weeks about our day the other day. So the point being is that I was supposed to pick a place that had apple picking. Now, if you look at their website, it looks like they have apples. We got there, not one apple to be found, but they had a lot of pumpkins. And I said, you know what? It's still going to be fun. And we had such a great day. And the funny thing is, so we all bought pie crusts and, things like that. So we could come back to my house and make apple pies with the apples that we picked. We ended up going to the market. We bought our apples, but it's fine because guess what? The pies and Stacy made, I don't know, they were called rustic apple something. So they were little really turnovers. They were very good. Everything was very good. And Stacy brought pumpkin ice cream. She got at Trader Joe's. I am not really a big Trader Joe's person, just so you know. A lot of people really love it. I know that my son and daughter-in-law, they love Trader Joe's. They go all the time. I like getting my flowers there, to be quite honest. That's about it. But Stacy went and got this pumpkin ice cream, and we're going, "Oh, I don't know. I'm not really sure about pumpkin ice cream." Guess what? It was really good. So if you go to Trader Joe's or if you want yourself some pumpkin ice cream, this stuff was really good, I have to say, and the consistency was weird. It looked like pumpkin pie, and it tasted just like no, alright, let me back up the truck for a second. It did not taste like pumpkin, it tasted like eggnog. That's exactly what it tasted like. So, think of eggnog ice cream on top of warm apple pie, delicious, and then some whipped cream on top. I can't. It was so, so good. So, even though we had store-bought apples, it was okay. It worked out. And another tip, and then I'm gonna move on. Hello, Tanya. Hello, Janet, and hello, Sierra. Good morning to all of you. Thank you so much for being here. But before I move on, I will say that I think Stacy and Michelle suggested buying a few different types of varieties of apples. I never did it that way. I always either bought Macintosh or I don't know, whatever kind of apple you make an apple pie with. And I bought one kind of apple. We bought, I think, four different types of apples. Well, they cut them all up, I'm not gonna lie. I made pasta. We had a little something to eat before dessert. I'm like, "We gotta have some type of substance before we dive into the good stuff." So, they peeled all the apples, just put everything together with the sugar and the brown sugar and vanilla, whatever else they put in, and I gotta tell you guys, using different varieties of apples for your apple pie or turnover or whatever, do it. Do it, do it, do it. It was the right thing to do. So, if you've never done it that way, maybe all of you do it that way. Maybe I'm just dumb because I had never heard of such a thing. I'm like, "No, you pick 1 apple." I'm telling you, decades, that's how I've been doing it. I won't do it like that again. I will use different varieties of apples for my apple thing, whatever I make. So try that, that's a great tip. Um, so Sierra said, "Using different varieties of apples gives it great texture." That's exactly what Stacy said. That's exactly what she said. You get the different feels of the different varieties. So perfect. That's exactly what she said. And that's exactly what you get. So, crazy, crazy weekend. Well, first thing, and this is not a political channel by any stretch of the imagination. I say it all the time. We're here to talk about music and entertainment news and some other things that may fall into place. But I have to say, I was telling my husband this morning, and I just learned this morning, how someone in politics, do I say the name? Do I not say it? Whatever. Her and her husband sold Visa stock, all of their Visa stock, the day before the Department of Justice sued Visa. And they didn't get in trouble for that. And I just have to say, didn't Martha Stewart go to prison for insider trading? I just wanted to throw it out there. The little guy, me, and you, some of you are big, and whatever. Um, but it always seems like the little guy, just doesn't have the opportunity to, get that tip to, maybe be able to make some money or not lose money and retain their wealth, which is what these two folks did. They were able to retain and not lose. So I don't know what is going on with everything going on around us. It just seems to get crazier and crazier as the days move on. Or is it me? I'm trying to just, you know, focus on lightness and brightness, but there's a lot of non-lightness and brightness around. And today, unfortunately, we're talking about a lot of non-light things, a lot of non-light topics. But I just wish that, you know, all of the people who are, they are in the know. I wish we could get, we could say something, but we can't. even though people try. I'm hearing something in my earphones here. I'm not sure quite what it is. I feel like I'm hearing. Okay, it's gone now. Thank you. I just wish we all had the ability to knock these people down a few notches. You know what I mean? But I'm too old for that. Maybe 30 years ago, I would have been, I don't know, standing outside in my bell bottoms. I bet we were talking about that the other day too. I said, I feel like I was a hippie. I feel like Stacy was in the Victorian times and maybe Michelle. No, I was talking to Sue about it. My friend Sue was definitely in the Victorian era. I think Stacy would have been living in the Victorian era, and Michelle, I'm thinking disco. Like, even though we were alive during that time, I feel like she was also maybe a disco queen, maybe in the 40s or something. Like, she was an entertainer or something. Like, I don't know. Like, it's crazy. Do you ever think about what you were in a past life? I don't think about it often. Trust me. You don't need to commit me or anything. Anywho, so Kathy Waddle, good morning. And Sierra says it feels like we live in the twilight zone. Yeah. Isn't that the truth? It's just crazy. Hey Rhonda, how are you? So, also Al brought up another point to me, and I I'm like, really? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't watch the news. I don't. I just, I watch a lot of things on YouTube. I feel like, and I'm not, please don't take this the wrong way and please don't come at me, but I feel like the things that I listen to are more realistic. I know, don't listen, I'm not listening to things like the National Enquirer type of informational channels. I'm listening to stuff about things going on and all of that. So I just feel like I'm getting more real information. I don't know. Is anything real? Really? Can we believe anything? Sometimes I wonder if I should even believe anything. But Al said to me, the devastation that has gone on from Hurricane Helene is just so downplayed. And I'm like, no, come on. But then when you think about it, realistically, you have to really look for it, right? You have to really look for the information. And I got to tell you, I'm very sad. Um, it breaks my heart about what is going on in 5 states, guys. 5 states. One storm, and this is from CNN, more than 100 people dead and a 500-mile path of destruction. And Al was telling me this is classified as one of the worst weather events in history in our country. I mean, that should be big, humongous news, right? And it's like you do. He's right. You have to dig for this information. And I feel like other things that happen are just in our face so much, but something like this would just oh my god. If you or have been reading the stories, or you read the stories about what has happened to, oh my gosh, it's horrible. Absolutely horrible. And this article I'm looking at from CNN, supplies are, in very high demand. Power, thousands of people are still without power. Many lives have been lost, as well as the lives of many animals, including horses, like big, animals and smaller animals, and roads and bridges are destroyed. Al was telling me there is an island or two, or I didn't really, I didn't dig into that, but that are just completely gone. And there are people who haven't heard from family members. There's over, like I said, 100 people have died from this storm. And it started off in Florida as a Category 4 hurricane, and 5 states were affected. And North Carolina got hit the worst. They have the highest death toll. Their death toll is currently at 42, and that's all they know of. So all I can say is, we are tremendously sending our love and our prayers to everyone who has been affected or knows someone who has been affected. And you're not really hearing much about aid. What are we doing for these victims and these people and these families? What are we doing for them? So, what I would like to see is our music community coming together, very high profile, artists and musicians, and well, even not high profile, but people who can lend a hand and start raising money to repair what has happened there. I mean, I'm not even hearing any artists coming out and saying, "Hey, I'm helping here. I'm doing this. I've donated this." Am I missing something? Have you heard anything? I've heard nothing. So, I'm sure that the people we love and the people that we follow are going to put their best foot forward and start letting us know and letting everybody know that they're there to support these communities who are supporters of them, and money is getting donated, help is getting sent, and things are going to happen for these people because this is devastating. So I really truly hope that we start hearing from our musician friends, and they're going to step in, step out, and help. And let's pray for that. Good morning, Laura. And let's see. Yeah, and Sarah, that's a true point as well. People get numb to it. And I think that's part of some of the issue as well. It's like, you know, I mean, just thinking about TikTok, how everybody wants their information in 30 seconds. And I will say that I am one of those people who, if I know this has nothing to do with anything, but if I'm looking for a recipe, right? I want the quick version. I don't want to watch somebody for an hour and then, make I just want to know I have my ingredients right here. What do I do? So, but then, of course, a lot of other pieces of information. I want to know the story. I want to know, what happened, who was involved, things of that nature. But a lot of our society is just quick. They want it now, they want it yesterday. They want to be spoon-fed, just the pieces of information they need to know and move on to the next. So it is crazy. And Rhonda said, my niece and nephew, Bree and Trinity, live in Lake Lure, North Carolina, and Asheville, North Carolina. We've tried contacting them multiple times by cell phone and email and no response. Well, let's pray that they are okay. And it's hopefully due to the fact that they just have no service and no power. Let's hope that's it. So prayers are going out to them, Rhonda. And Janet said, my local news here in Texas has been talking about and showing videos of the horrible aftermath of the hurricane. And that's where we can just, say our prayers and really hope for the best for everyone who is struggling with what they're struggling with. And Rhonda said, only Samaritan's Purse, Billy Graham Ministries is on the ground in North Carolina now. That hopefully will change soon. I mean, my goodness, these people need help. They need help. And Al was saying, it's tough too because they can't get, like, it's hard to get help to some of these folks who really need it. So let's hope this gets, this happens quickly for them, because the longer that it goes, the harder it's going to be to, have rescues and be able to get people to a safe spot. Yeah. All right. So moving on to news, Chris Christopherson passed away. And as I was digging into information about him, I'm like, he has done what a smart man. What a smart man he was. And 88 years old. They didn't say what his cause of death was, but you just got to go, man. He clearly lived hopefully a nice, long and healthy life. throughout his 88 years, hopefully most of it was good, you know, and hopefully he wasn't suffering for a long period of time. But we'll talk a little bit about Chris. He was a country singer. He was a Rhodes Scholar, which I thought was very, very interesting, something you wouldn't think of him as being. And he was an award winning actor. Again, he passed away at the age of 88. He was born in Brownsville, Texas. His father, Lars, was in the U.S. Army Air Corps. So the family didn't stay in one place for a very long period of time. Eventually, they did end up moving to and living in California. So Chris started off as a writer back in 1958. He received a Rhodes Scholarship from the University of Oxford in England. Holy moly. That's intense. Now the Rhodes Scholarship, which is given by the University of Oxford, is the oldest graduate scholarship in the world. And if you receive one of these scholarships, it is very prestigious and you have to pass very, very strict criteria in order to receive this scholarship. I just didn't look at Chris Christopherson that way. So you just don't know unless you're constantly researching about people. So Chris clearly had not only a very talented background, but he was also extremely intelligent. Now, Chris was trying to get his writing career to take off, but his family pushed him to join the Army. He became a helicopter pilot and also started to push for a music career. So he was doing all of these other things. And I guess in his heart, music was in his blood, in his soul. And he was trying to get that to take off. He started a band and he was loving that. So he made the decision to leave the Army. And his family didn't like that. So they basically didn't talk to him for a long period of time, but eventually they did all work things out. Chris did struggle to make the music business work out to his advantage, and there was even a story going around, and I guess it's kind of true, but he allegedly landed a helicopter in Johnny Cash's yard, property, whatever you want to call it. And supposedly he did it while he was drinking a beer. And I guess the beer part was not true, but I guess he did really fly a helicopter onto Johnny Cash's property to get his attention. He did get his attention because Johnny Cash actually recorded a song that Chris wrote called Sunday Morning Coming Down. And Chris actually won the CMA award for Songwriter of the Year for that song in 1970. So maybe the helicopter story, I think it was true, but I guess the beer, like he wasn't drinking a beer when he flew the helicopter to Johnny Cash's property. Because I think Chris, what I read was, I think he once said that you can't fly and drink a beer at this, like you can't do that. It's just not, well, and if you do, shame on you, and that's not good. Now, in 1971, Janis Joplin went to number one with the song Chris co-wrote with Fred Foster, Me and Bobby McGee. We all know that song. And sadly, the song hit number one after Janis had passed. And I didn't know this, but Janis and Chris dated. Now, Chris, he did a lot, tons. Music, TV appearances, and of course he was on the big screen, and I swear it felt like Chris was everywhere in the 1970s in the movies, right? And he was especially in our faces in 1976 when he co-starred with Barbra Streisand in A Star Is Born. I mean, I can remember going to see that movie and the chemistry those two had. I don't know. I think it was better than Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. I do. I really do. I feel like they just had something special. Now, I haven't read any of the backstory about the original. Well, was that the original movie of A Star Is Born, or was there one even before that? I don't know. I don't quote me on it, but I did not read the backstory about the Barbra Streisand, Chris Christopherson one. So did they like each other? You know how that happens. Sometimes co-stars don't like each other. So I have no idea. But I can tell you Those 2 together in that movie were incredible. Absolutely incredible. Now, Chris was inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame in 1977 and the Country Music Hall of Fame in 2004. He won a Golden Globe for Best Actor for his role in A Star is Born. He won 4 Grammys and several other awards. He was also part of the country supergroup The Highwaymen with Johnny Cash and Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson. And Chris is known as one of the greatest songwriters of our time. I didn't know that. I did not know that. Chris passed away at his home in Maui on September 28th of 2024. And he said that he would like the following lines from Leonard Cohen's Bird on the Wire to be placed on his tombstone. And they read, like a bird on the wire, like a drunk in a midnight choir, I have tried in my way to be free. So we say rest in peace. Mr. Chris Christopherson, what a long life though, 88 years old. Like I said, just hopefully those 88 years were all good for him. Yeah, and Janet said, I didn't know that Chris was a Rhodes Scholar. Wow, he certainly did a lot in his life. Do you see what I mean? Like, it's just, these are things you just don't know unless you go and you research and you go, wow, really? Whoa. And Patty, good morning. And she said, the hurricane damage is so sad. And the prayers that prayers that your family is okay and just not able to get a message out. It's true. Like, just, everybody, we are sending our loads of love and prayers and goodness and just praying that everybody comes out of this okay. So let's talk about Ann Wilson. This is awesome. Ann Wilson is going to be back on tour at the beginning of 2025. Now, she did tell the Daily News that she has ended her cancer treatment, which is fantastic. And she also said that chemo is no joke. So she's done with chemo, and her and Hart announced that they will be going back on the road in 2025. They have not said what type of cancer she has, which, that is her information to keep to herself. And she did post something on Instagram that said, hello, everyone. And she said, now I know lots of you have been wondering how I've been doing. So I thought it would be best if you heard this straight from me. I'm doing absolutely fine now, but it's been, to put it mildly, a lot. Chemo is no joke. It takes a lot out of a person. And then that 2 weeks of waiting around for test results, a form of mental torture. Wow. Luckily for me, when the results finally came, they were the good kind. And I'm so excited to share with you that I'm now finished with chemo and I'm officially ready to get ready for the tour in 2025. And then Nancy said, we are so excited, so excited to resume this tour. We were just starting to fire on all cylinders and the vibe was entirely major. To be continued. So we are so happy to hear that news coming from the Ann Wilson camp. Everybody's been asking about her. You see it on social media, just hoping. And it seems like, for us, it seems like this announcement that Ann had cancer was just released. And now we're hearing, you know what? She's going to be getting back on the road in 2025. It just seems like it was such a short amount of time in between from when we heard to today. And all I can say to that is even better news. That's even better news that it did not last for a long time for her. But the great thing is too, she's still got time. I mean, tomorrow, believe it or not, is October 1st. So she's still got time from now until they start their tour in February. Let's take a look here. Their first show, it looks like, is on February 28th at the Fontainebleau. Is that how you say it? Fontainebleau Las Vegas Theater. So again, that is on February 28th. They've got a bunch of time where she can still rest, and they have a lot. Whoa. This is from heartmusic.com. They have a lot of dates scheduled. So they are going to be plugging along. Let's see here. Wow. They're going through right now on their site. It's going through April 16th, but they've got a lot. They've got a lot of shows. So if you're lucky enough to go and see yourself a Heart show, why not? I mean, this is pretty incredible. And let's see. I think that's about it for Anne, but you know what? Again, just so happy for her and for her sister. Now, isn't it crazy how her and her sister didn't speak for so long? And, you know, did this was this part of the reason for their reunion? We don't know because we don't know how long Anne has known about this diagnosis. We don't know how long she's been struggling with cancer or anything else that she's been struggling with if she has. So, you do turn around and say, sometimes it takes a tragedy to get people to reconnect, and isn't that sad? But it's true. We all have something like that in our lives, well, most of us do anyway. And it is sad that, it just takes something that major to bring people back together. But if that's what it took and Anna's doing okay, then that's a wonderful thing, right? I mean, two sisters, my gosh, they've been doing this for decades, 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 decades. And, you didn't want to see them and the way that it looked like they were going to. And I'm glad they got back together, and they're going to be touring together again as well because they were doing their own thing for quite some time too. All right. Ringo Starr. My goodness. I told you it's not a bunch of light today. It's a it's a bunch of like come on, dude, like another story. Ringo, the guy's 84. I mean, but he looks good. Does he not look great? And he so takes care of himself, but he had to cancel his last two shows, I think. Let me see. Let me go down here. This is from remindmagazine.com. So, yes, he canceled the final shows of his North American tour for health reasons. He came down with a cold. And his doctor said, "You know what? You just you gotta ixnay the tour's nay, and you gotta go rest day." So that's what he did and is doing. And the announcement on his social media read, "Today, Ringo Starr and his all-star band announced that unfortunately they have to cancel their upcoming last two shows, including tonight's performance at TD Pavilion at the Man in Philadelphia, PA, and tomorrow at Radio City Music Hall in New York City due to illness." Oh, that's a bummer. And it went on to say Ringo has come down with a cold, and after consulting a doctor, he was advised to cancel these two remaining shows and get rest. As of today, what I just said, the following two shows had been canceled, and ticket holders will be notified via email and will automatically be refunded. As always, Ringo and the All Stars send peace and love to their fans and hope to see them soon. Was Steve Lukather in that? It looks like it. It looks like he was part of it. And, fans were disappointed, of course, of those two cancellations. But I mean, doesn't it seem like we're hearing that a lot? Like we're hearing about cancels all the time now. And you just don't know. He actually, well, it was a 12-date tour, which I guess went down to 10 dates. Guy's 84, man. You just gotta say, listen, we're lucky to get what we can get. And God bless him. I think he's fabulous. Him and Paul McCartney, like, come on. They're just maybe I'm amazed. Maybe. And then I'll take a photograph. Stop. Stop it. I know. But I hope Ringo's okay. I mean, if it's just a cold, like he's gotta be fine. But again, when you're 84, it takes a little bit longer to recuperate from a cold, but Ringo's pretty healthy. So I feel like he's out there, I don't know, running around or something. No, Sierra, the news about Steve Perry, with new music coming out about the Christmas album, I couldn't find anything about that. So I'm not going to talk about that today. I will look out for it a little bit more. And, I really couldn't find anything. I'll look again right now, but I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything on his site. Let's just look it up right now. Let's see. Christmas album. The season 2021, 2021, 2022, um, March 21st of 2024, he released his first ever Christmas album. The season, Steve Perry album, Christmas album, the season that was from 3 years ago. I just don't see anything. So when I get more information, I'm more than happy to talk about it because y'all know I love me some Steve Perry information. S- but I can't talk about that yet. So as soon as, like I said, I gotta have that info. And once I have it, I will be able to talk about it. But another cancellation I can talk about is Dave Grohl. And I guess he was supposed to do a show in Bridgeport, Connecticut last night. It was supposed to be at the Soundside Music Festival. The Foo Fighters were supposed to be there, but on Thursday, this past Thursday, September 26th, an announcement came out. The Foo Fighters will no longer be appearing at this weekend's Southside Music Festival. Please check the festival website for more information. And they didn't give any more information. I mean, we can only guess. I don't think Dave's in a good mood right now. I mean, he's probably happy about the baby, but there can't be good vibes going on in the background between him, his wife, and his kids. I'm just, the little bit of flavor that I've received from reading what I've read over the past couple of weeks. I can't imagine he's in a really good place to be out there entertaining. And again, that's alleged. I don't know. Maybe he's in a good mood. I don't know. I can't imagine though. I'm just saying. I don't know. This is purported. I just don't know. But Jack White and Greta Van Fleet were added to the lineup to replace the Foo Fighters. And let's see, some fans, they were shocked that the Foo Fighters waited so long to make the announcement. And there were some upset fans. This is from Newsweek, by the way, who bought tickets to the festival specifically to see Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters. And, you know, they put their disappointment all over social media. And one upset ticket buyer said, "Oh, are you excited? Because I need a refund." Someone else said, "Unacceptable. We've known about the whole Dave Grohl BS for a couple of weeks now. To tell us this a couple of days before is pretty effed up." And then another person said, "Baby mama drama for Dave already." Well, come on. I mean, I'm sure it's been drama for a bit. There's no way they all just found out like yesterday. And then they go on to talk about the September 10th statement that Dave put out on his social media telling everybody that he is now the father of a brand new baby girl born outside of his marriage. And somebody made a comment on the video I did about that talked about the whole Dave Grohl situation, saying, "Well, it's really his business." No, it's not, because I mean, if it was his business, then why would he make a statement on his social media telling millions of his fans what had happened? And it was better that he did it that way and made it everybody's business, because somebody would find out. Let's be real. I mean, our world, everybody knows everything about everybody. You can't hide anything, even though you try. Diddy with the baby oil. I guess that's a real thing. I guess that, I don't know, a lot of baby oil found in the guy's house. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so it kind of is. I mean, I guess it's all how much of his business you want to make your business. I guess that's the bottom line on that. And then another bit of information. So, when these bands come out and announce that they are retiring, sometimes I scratch my head and go, "Well, really? Are they?" Again, we've got Kiss, we've got Foreigner, they were retiring, and I guess they are, but they're still out there, which is great. I'm not saying anything bad. It's just, Cher's retired a few times, so you just don't really know. You kind of take these announcements with a grain of salt sometimes. So Aerosmith did announce that they're retiring, they're off the road. Well, it just recently came out. This is from metalinjection.net that Tom Hamilton, bassist for Aerosmith, he now is in a new band. And his new band is called Close Enemies. So you have to kind of think, all right, well, Aerosmith must really be done if he's starting this new project. I mean, you know, new projects can start and then people can stop them and then go back to what they were doing. But, there is nothing out there about Steven Tyler right now. I can't find any information out about him. You just hope he's okay. He had that terrible, terrible throat injury. Oh my gosh. Like he's singing while his throat is bleeding and he's performing and still going through that. So his voice, not good. So Tom Hamilton did put out on his Twitter last Friday about his new project. He said, "Hey, I need to tell you guys something about a band I'm playing with called Close Enemies. We have a bunch of good songs recorded. We're going to release one soon. Meanwhile, we're doing a show in Nashville on October 11th in Nashville at a place called East Side Bowl. Please come." So if you are an Aerosmith fan, go and see Tom Hamilton. How great is that to go and press about it? I watched this really interesting YouTube video yesterday. I can't remember the guy's name. He did a fabulous review on a show he went to go see. The headliner was Big Daddy Kane. If you can go and look that up, this guy was great. I thought he was fabulous, the reviewer. And he talked about how he only knew about this show. There were, a few artists. I can't, oh my gosh, what Michelle, that's who was in it because we used to play her on our radio station. I'm looking at a jacket, Kicks 106 back in the day. So that's why I knew who she was. The other act, I didn't know who he was. Big Daddy Kane, of course, you know who he is. And I think there was someone I think there were 4 acts total, and Big Daddy Kane didn't come on stage until like midnight. So this reviewer, again, I thought he was fabulous. And I'm so sorry I didn't write his name down, or I should have. Hopefully I can find it and put it in the description box later. But he talked about how he only knew about this show because he listens to some of these artists on Spotify and they sent him an acknowledgement that this show was taking place near him. So he bought a ticket, cheap. It was under $40 a ticket, and went to the show. He's like, there was no one there. It was empty. The venue was practically empty. He was sitting in the balcony. Then they had everybody from the balcony come down to the front section. And he said, literally, if they had promoted this show better, the place would have probably been filled, sold out, whatever. And it's true. It's all about publicity. It's all about getting your information out there. Now, Tom Hamilton, like I said, I was just kind of poking around at what's going on in the news and everything, and I just came across this. I haven't seen anything about Tom Hamilton starting a new band. Tom Hamilton from Aerosmith. Hi, like this should be big news, right? But it's kind of not. So go to Nashville on October 11th to see Tom Hamilton. You can't go wrong with that. You really can't. And Aerosmith, since they did announce their retirement, this is from Forbes.com. You gotta love the Money magazine, don't you? Don't you? Well, since they announced they were retiring, their catalog is doing phenomenally on streaming. But really, how much money are you getting from streaming? Unless this is a great question for you guys. do artists, and I would love to know if there's any artist out there who may perhaps stumble across this, let us know. Let me know. Do artists make more from their YouTube videos than they do from streaming? I'm gonna go with yes. They probably make more from their YouTube videos. I don't know. From what I've read, streaming pays like a millionth of a penny on a penny. The money is just not there. But if you have millions and millions and millions, of course, that adds up. However, I would love to know the answer to that question. Do artists make more on YouTube than streaming? I want to know. I want to know. And another person we have to shout out here because we just do, because he's just such a nice guy. Doug Aldrich, you know, he announced that he has throat cancer. And I think this just happened. I think he just came out with this last week. And this is from blabbermouth.net. Doug has been in Whitesnake and Dio and the Dead Daisies. He is with the Dead Daisies now. He did thank fans for, reaching out to him and sending love and prayers. He just had a very successful surgery for his treatable throat cancer. Thank goodness for that. Thank goodness for that. Whenever they put the word treatable, you're like, that's great news. But still, it's terrible that he even has to go through this. He's such a nice guy. Such a nice guy. And of course, very, very uber talented. So this past Saturday, September 28th, Doug went on Instagram. He showed a photo of himself lying in a hospital bed, and the message read, "Quick update. Hi, guys. Just wanted to reach out and say thank you so much for the prayers and well wishes. It really helped more than I can say. I got surgery on my neck and tonsil, and surgery was very successful. The doctor is a superstar, and team here is amazing. I feel good and hopefully get to go home today to my family. I'm so grateful for you guys. Thank you so much." He's such a class act, that guy, really. And this past Friday, September 27th, Doug's wife, Daniela, she shared an update on Doug's condition, and on her personal Facebook page, she said, "I just want to take a moment to thank each and every one of you who sent prayers, texts, and love for Doug. It truly meant the world to him to feel the outpouring of support. Your messages really lifted his spirits, and it made such a difference knowing how many people care about him." And really, just the artists who are reaching out to Doug, and it's phenomenal. And let's see. She said, "All your prayers were heard. The surgery went incredibly well. 5 hours. 5 hours of multiple steps, but Doug pushed through like the fighter he is. Even the nurse called him a superhero for his strength and determination right after. He is the strongest person I know." Wow. Like, she is just, prayers to Daniela too. Like, wow. And his family. So, we just got to say, fingers crossed for Doug that it continues to get better and he gets better and he can get back out to doing what he loves, what he knows, and what fans love him for very, very soon. So we're thinking about you, Doug. Take care. And then we've got Billy Joel. It goes on and on and on. Billy Joel. Like that again, I don't think he's ever retiring. I think he's going to perform forever and ever. That's what I'm thinking. But he has recently announced his camp did. This is from billboard.com that he will have 5 one-night only shows in 2025 with Sting and Stevie Nicks. Now, I did not read one bad comment about the Billy Joel and Stevie Nicks shows. I read so many positive things. I wish I could have gone. I just couldn't do it. And you got two legends right there. 2 amazing musicians that I mean, Billy Joel sold out Madison Square Garden how many years in a row, and Stevie Nicks is the queen of rock and roll, no doubt, hands down, class act. She sounds phenomenal. I mean, I love them both. I really, really do. But now to throw Sting in that mix, he's great too. Come on now. I mean, you just what a choice. What a choice. And I think these shows are going to sell out, no question, hands down. And I think didn't Billy go out with just Sting too? So he did shows with Stevie Nicks, and I believe he's done shows with just Sting, but now to have all 3 of them together, and I bet you it's gonna be so popular, they will add more dates with the 3 of them probably. Why not? And that run is supposed to start on February 8th at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, and let's see, so Sting is going to be with him February 8th, in Syracuse on April 11th, Charlotte, North Carolina on May 10th, and Salt Lake City on May 23rd. Stevie will be at a March 29th concert at Ford Field in Detroit. And let's see, so Live Nation pre-sale for these tickets will happen this coming Wednesday. It says use the code SETLIST. Those freaking codes never work for me. I'm just telling you. They don't. I get what do you have to have a Citibank card or something like that? Or do you have to have something? I don't know. But anyway, that's the code SETLIST if you want it. And the general ticket sales will be this says the general ticket sales will be on October 54. I'm assuming they mean October 5th. So let's just go with that. And that will start at 10 o'clock Eastern. And Billy is on the road right now with a sold out show at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. And that will be this past Friday night that happened. And that happen with Sting? That was with Sting. And the next show is on October 12th in Inglewood, California, and then again on October 25th in San Antonio, Texas. And the end of the year show will end at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas with Sting. And they, I guess, will have a November 23rd stop at Hard Rock Live in Hollywood, Florida. Hollywood, Florida. Never been. Never been. I wonder if it's like Hollywood. I don't know. So the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the induction ceremony is coming up very soon, October 19th at the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse in Cleveland, Ohio. This is from rttnews.com. And they have announced their lineup of performers and presenters for the induction ceremony. And the ceremony will stream live on Disney Plus. I don't have that. I told you. I cannot have 5 million apps that I'm paying for. I pay for Hulu and I pay for Netflix. That is enough for me and Verizon. That's it. That's all I got. I'm not spending a penny on anything else. I can't. There's just so many. I would love to get Paramount though. Like, is it Paramount has some good shows and Apple TV. It looks like they have good stuff, but you know what? They all eventually come around. So just wait long enough and you'll eventually see what you want to. It doesn't take that long. And they will show the induction ceremony. So I'm going to wait for this one on ABC because that's free on January 1st. And that will be at 8 o'clock Eastern. And then Hulu will have it on January 2nd. So the inductees who will be performing include Mary J. Blige, Cher. Oh my God. So awesome. Dave Matthews Band, Foreigner, of course. We've known about that. Peter Frampton, Kool and the Gang, and Dionne Warwick. I love Dionne. I do. And let's see. So Busta Rhymes, Dr. Dre, Demi Lovato, Dua Lipa, Ella Mai, I don't know, James Taylor, Jelly Roll, love him, Julia Roberts, Keith Urban, Kenny Chesney, Lucky Day, Mac McNally, Method Man, Roger Daltrey, Sammy Hagar, Slash, and The Roots. They will also appear in the ceremony in some way, shape, or form. Alexis Corner, John Mayall, and Big Mama Thornton will receive the Musical Influence Award Jimmy Buffett, MC5, Dionne Warwick, and Norman Whitfield will be honored with the Musical Excellence Award with Suzanne de Passe. Is that how you say it? And they will be given the Ahmet Ertegun Award. And let's see. So, John Sykes, chairman of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Foundation, said that every year the biggest names in music, film, and culture step onto the stage at our ceremony to pay tribute to the iconic inductees whose music has defined generations, said John Sykes, chairman of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Foundation. These are once in a lifetime moments created that will be remembered forever. And I just can't wait to see Lou. I just cannot wait to see Lou. Love Lou. Lou Graham, I love you. He knows that. He knows I love him. And bringing it all home. So I guess Ross Valerie did an interview recently with Neil Jones of Total Rock. And this is from blabbermouth.net yet again. And he says that he has not been in touch with his former Journey bandmates. Why? Wasn't there a lawsuit involved? Again, you sue someone, I don't think they want to be friends. I'm just throwing it out there. Just saying. So Ross said in this part of the interview, well, I haven't been in touch with anybody except for maybe former Journey drummer Steve Smith once in a while. Everybody's moved on with their lives. I mean, you got to move on. And they did settle the lawsuit with Neil and John. So what are you going to do? You can't stay over here. But Journey did have the whole 50th anniversary tour. So, it's just it would have been nice to have some of the former members on that stage with them along the way, but it just didn't happen. Just like we've all been pining for Steve Perry to come back. It's not happening. I mean, I let that go. I let that ship sail a long time ago. And Steve has been very quiet. So I'm sure there's something happening. Something is a brewing in the Steve Perry household because that's what he does. This is his MO. Like he'll be out there until April. He's quiet. And then here it is, October. I said this last year. He's all out again from October through December. And then, he picks back up again after the holidays, and then he's quiet. After April, he's quiet. He takes the summer off. But then he'll be 76. So I don't know. I just don't know. And Ross went on to say, so many people are curious about what went wrong. My point is we should talk about what went right. Good point, Ross. I like that. It's true. Like we can talk about Journey and all of this stuff that's been happening, the Arnell situation and Neil and John. And clearly that, Arnell even said it, the band is in turmoil. So, things are not rosy, happy days are here again. It's just not happening. But it's true. What about all the things that went right? But us as humans do focus on negativity. It's terrible. Shame on us. But I totally agree. I mean, going back to, my gosh, their catalog's ridiculous. You can't. I gotta say that's probably one of the top one. You got them. You got Foreigner, Eddie Money. Come on, like these are songs that just will live on forever. Bon Jovi. These are songs that are going to live on forever. Aerosmith. Bad Company. We could go on here. We could just keep Styx, REO Speedwagon. Let's just keep the wheels turning. It's true. He's got a great point there. All those fabulous musicians, he went on to say, that have come under that roof over the decades, the musicians that remain, the band that remains with Arnell singing and Jonathan and Neil, they continue to this day. I wish them the best. Such a nice guy. Seems like such a nice guy. He also talked about Journey's induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2017, and he was asked if he ever imagined that he would be entering the Rock Hall one day, and Ross did say, and I quote, well, as a child, I'd always been very, very musical. I had other potential paths to take, whether it was in science or medicine, something, but music was always there. And I think for all of us who are here, music is always there too. I know I'm not a musician, thank goodness. Hello. No. Not happening. But I will tell you, music is in my blood, always has been, always will be in a different way. And he went on to say, and as rock and roll came into my life, that became the focus of my attention and the direction in which I went. As a child, I did not imagine being in rock and roll. I imagined being a musician of sorts, possibly symphonies, symphonic music for the better part of 10 years, and sang in choirs and choruses and a cappella and all that in a very competitive way. But I hadn't imagined as a child being in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It is quite a gift. It is quite a blessing. And I won't read everything else because there's a lot there. So you can go ahead and listen to or watch that interview wherever it is. And I got to tell you, it's true. We just got to hold on to the great moments and memories that we have with this music. We're going to talk about stuff that goes wrong. We're going to do it because that's what we do. And that's why we're here, right? To talk about current events and what's happening in the news and stuff. But I think, my hope is for today to, hopefully start seeing some artists come out and helping where they can for the victims of Hurricane Helene. That's my hope for today. And I hope to bring that around and someone hears it and someone runs with it and we start seeing some of that positive injection um, down in the states that really were affected. And Steve, how are you? And he said, when I met them with Steve or Jerry Ross was super nice. He seems like a super nice guy. Nice to see you, Steve. I haven't seen you in forever, so welcome. But I do have to say, guys, and Tanya said, I love Michelle A. Oh my gosh, you gotta watch this video, guys. You know what? Let me see if I can find it quick before I head off here. It was such a great video. It really was so good. Hold on. It should pop right up because I watched it. Let's see. Sorry, bear with me for 1 second here. Let's see, upload date. Don't I have a history here? I should. I should. Let's put review. Review. I want you to know, you to know. That's such a good song. And she sounded so good. Oh, come on. All right, let's see. History. Here we go. Girl, you know it's true. Oh my gosh, I watched the Menendez brothers documentary on Netflix. I will say, all right, like the whole thing's nuts and terrible people. Really, those two. Terrible people. I think I found it. I think it's here. I mean, it was good. The documentary was good as it got going. As good as it can be, talking about these two monsters, really. I think it's called Monsters. But I think it was too long. Like, they definitely did not have to make it 9 episodes. It was just too much. Oh, come on. I feel like I'm getting closer because it was such a good video. I really want you guys to see it. Did I watch it? Saturday. I'm so sorry, but I just think it's important. I just think it's important. Okay. Maybe it wasn't. Boy, I watch a lot of videos, man. I watch a lot of YouTube. It's my choice. It's my TV of choice. I like it. Oh man. I gotta find. Here it is. I found it. Okay, I'm gonna share it. So share. Oh, this is great. I think you'd like it. It was just interesting to see how, if something is not promoted correctly, it makes all the difference in the world. All right, so I just shared it. And I thank you guys so much for being here. Tanya, Rhonda, Kathy, Steve, thanks so much for stopping by. Janet, did I say Janet? Patty, Sierra, Tanya, did I say Tanya? I'm so sorry. Laura, I'm trying to get everybody here. If I missed you, I'm so sorry, but I love you guys and thank you so much. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Hit the like button. YouTube loves that, keeps me coming back. And, just know that you guys are awesome. Really, you're just awesome. And I hope that you have a fabulous rest of the day. I'll see you again this week. I just don't know what day. Whenever I'm not tired. How's that? How's that? And I'll just pop on here and, we'll just talk about what's going on. So, guys, I love you, love you, love you. Mwah. And I will see you soon. Bye, guys. And again, enjoy your day. Enjoy this weather.